Hello everyone, this is Professor Wei here. In this video, I want to briefly recap Pandas in Python, which we covered in class. Okay, so Pandas is a very useful library that allows us to analyze the data. It's kind of a similar with a notion of tables in Excel. All right, so you can manage the data, describe the data, sort the data, process the data in the pandas environment. Okay, so in one of the examples we went over in class, so we created a data table like this. Okay, so we have this. Hold on. We have this 5 by 4 pandas table. Okay, so we have 4 columns and 5 rows. So you can think of each one of the column to be a variable, and you have 5 observations to each one of them. All right, so this is a table. All right, you can think of you store the data in this table, and within this table, we have all sorts of, well, each individual cells. So with pandas, this table over here, we have a very special name called data frame in Python. Okay. So pandas allows us to select an index column by using a square bracket. Okay. So if you are specifying the data frame name, in this case, we call it df. And with a square bracket structure, we essentially identify this W column. Okay, so this is how you index the individual column. You can also index multiple columns at the same time. For example, if you want to select W and Z, the first and the last column, you can just put a square bracket with 2 individual columns separated by a comma. All right. And let's say if you want to do 3, you can do select 3 columns together. All right. Yeah, similar example over here. And again, if you just print out, so if you just specify the name of the data frame itself, you're going to return the entire data frame. So that's basically how you, select and index the column. All right. So likewise, here you specify 2 columns. You can essentially create a new variable. Let's call it a p. This p over here is the new data frame that takes a 5 by 2 dimension. You have 2 columns, WZ, and for each one of them, you have 5 observations. Okay, so P is a data frame, whereas one single column is a pandas data frame series. Pandas series. Okay, so that's how you select an index column using the square brackets. Now, we also covered the point of how to create a new variable or a new column. So essentially, we can take the summation, take the difference, product, division of individual columns. So basically, let's say if we want to create a new column, we can just take the summation of individual columns, right? Using the square bracket again. So in this case, we have the summation of a W and a Y. Basically, you are taking the summation of this column and that column. Jointly, you get a new column. We name it as new. All right. You can also, hold on. You can also implement other forms of upper operation. You can take the ratio. All right. So in this case, you can see the we create a new variable called new1. That's going to be the ratio of W and Y. All right. Likewise, you can create a third variable. Let's call it uh, new2. And let's say we want to take the difference between W and Y and, scale it by X. Oops. There's a typo over here. Now, you can see you create the third variables over here. Okay, so it's essentially identical with the variable generation process in Excel. You can call the individual columns using the square bracket. All right. You can also describe the data using this statement over here. It's a conditional statement that allows you to generate a binary outcome. So basically, you create a table of indicators indicating whether each one of the observations satisfy this, statement. Okay, so basically, if uh, the observation is greater than 0, you will get a dummy variable. Sorry, you will get a true. Otherwise, we'll get a false corresponding to each one of them. And likewise, you can do that for less than 0. And of course, you can describe the data. And so basically, we call it to be a conditional statement. All right. So I think on during the lecture, we also talk about uh, how to select those conditional outcomes by using the square bracket. So if we specify this condition within the data frame of DF, we essentially highlighted all those, we essentially selected all the elements that satisfy the this statement DF greater than 0. Okay. Likewise, you can also do less than 0, and that is, let's say, less than 0. You can see all the negative values are selected. Okay, so these are some very basic features in Pandas. So basically, you need to be able to index the elements within the pandas, be able to create new variables, describe the data in the pandas data frame, as well as working on some basic visualization plots using, within the pandas data frame environment. I think we talk about that when we cover the pandas data reader. Okay, so online there are tons of open source tutorials. You can just Google Pandas tutorial. There are some very useful ones. There's one page from Pandas official website. You have a 10 minutes short tutorial regarding Pandas covering lots of useful topics such as indexation, selection operations, missing data, merge grouping, plotting, and many different stuff. Okay, so I highly encourage you to take a look of this tutorial. It's just very straightforward. You can spend less than 20 minutes to advance your skill set in this area. Okay, it's a very useful tool set. In conjunction with NumPy, you can do quite a bit of work in data analysis. Okay, all right. So that's all what I have for this short video. Oh, actually, on Canvas, I encourage you to go over everything in the Pandas learning module, as well as, let me see, I think, yeah, it's also going to be very beneficial if you can take a look of the material I posted on data visualization learning module. Okay. That's all what I have in this short video. I'll see you guys in class.